Hey everybody, welcome back to High Point. I'm so excited that you're here with us today because today is my favorite Sunday of the whole month, which you guys already know means that it's time to eat. Oh, wait, wrong thing. I do love to eat, but why is it my favorite Sunday of the month? Do you guys remember? Yes, that's absolutely right. It is my favorite Sunday of the month because it's BGMC. BGMC is my absolute favorite. I love getting to talk about another country with you, tell you about how God is using missionaries to reach those people so that they can learn about the love of Jesus and that they can go to live with heaven in Him someday. Without the missionaries, guys, that may never happen. In fact, in the country we're going to talk about today, it really would never happen. You'll be shocked when you hear one of the facts that I tell you. So you may be asking yourself, what does that have to really do with me? Which is where BGMC comes into play, guys. I have to tell you, BGMC, Boys and Girls Missionary Challenge, is a program where we can give money, change, or dollars, things that we work for, or things that we have and we give, that goes to help these missionaries teach the kids, teach the people in these countries all about the love of Jesus and about how He died to save them so that they would not have to be separated from God. It's a pretty amazing thing. And to be really honest with you, I have to tell you a really exciting story. So yesterday, which would have been Saturday, we had the end of what was a huge challenge. One of the kids in our children's church came up with an idea that for every $5 that they were able to give to BGMC, whether that was somebody gave the money to them and they could give it, or they worked for it, or however, for every $5 that they were able to give, they got to smash an egg on top of my head. Do you know what, guys? That turned out to be 37 raw eggs smashed all over my head. And not only that, but I gave them a challenge that if, as a group, they could reach at least $100, then they could smear some stinky Limburger cheese all over my head. So I was like a stinky raw egg, stinky cheese omelet. It was so cool. And what's the most cool is that all of that money that they gave, that got to go to help missionaries teach and reach and tell the love of Jesus to people who otherwise may never hear. Sorry, I got a little off track there, because we do have a country to talk about, and you're probably wondering, well, which one is it? The country we're talking about today is a country called Thailand. Now, Thailand is in Southeast Asia. It's located south of China. It's kind of shaped like the head of an elephant with a trunk that comes down. Thailand itself is about the size of our state of Arizona. So it's, if you look on a map and see Arizona, that's about the same size. Oh, pardon me, I misread that. See, sometimes I can't read. That's terrible. It's actually about the size of our state of Arizona and Utah put together. So if you look on a map and look at those two, you'd see about how big Thailand is. And Thailand itself is a different country than ours. See, like in Minnesota here, we have lots of trees and grass and flowers. And in Arizona, they have lots of desert and cactus. And in different parts of the country, there's different things. Well, it's the same way in Thailand. In northern Thailand, there's lots of forests, there's mountains, and there's very beautiful green valleys. And the center of the country has really good farmland. And that little narrow trunk that goes down to the south is rainforest. Lots of rivers flow through the whole land of Thailand. And the weather's a little bit different there than it is here too. See, in Minnesota, we're starting to reach middle of fall, and pretty soon it'll be close to the end of October, and it means it's getting a little bit chilly. Now, today is another beautiful day, but eventually it'll get to be cold. but not in Thailand. In Thailand, it is very hot and it is very humid. That means it's a lot like a mid-July day when the sun is shining and you walk outside and it feels like you've walked into a pool. Blech, really hot and humid. The long rainy season lasts from June all the way to October. That's lots and lots of rain, guys. It is a little bit cooler in the north, though, during the winter months, but nothing like here in Minnesota. There are 68.4 million people who live in the country of Thailand. And the capital city is Bangkok. And Bangkok has 9.27 million. That's almost 10 million of the 68 live in one city. That's a lot. And here's that fact that I said would really shock you. In the entire country of Thailand, the entire country of 68.4 million people, only 1% are Christians. Only 1% know Jesus died on the cross and saved them from their sins. There are only 1% that know it and believe it. Guys, that's very, very low. That's not very many people at all. There's a good reason why we need to help our missionaries in Thailand. I want to start out by telling you a little bit of a story that'll give you a better sense of what Thailand is like. So, Wirachi Kawai grew up learning about Buddha. Now maybe you've heard of Buddha too, so maybe if you've heard of him, listen up. Because Buddha was a man who lived a long time before Jesus came along. Buddha taught people that they could only find peace by separating themselves from the world. But Wirachi, who tried to do this, he didn't have any peace at all until he found Jesus and was baptized in the Holy Spirit. Wirachi then went to a Bible school, and later he began a church. He trained some members, and they too began some churches. So when the Thailand Assemblies of God was formed back in 1973, Wirachi became its first leader. What's interesting, guys, is that the very first U.S. Assemblies of God missionaries that went to Thailand didn't go until 1968, and they didn't go to work with the Thai people. They actually went to work with U.S. servicemen based in Bangkok itself. As all the soldiers were saved, they helped give out gospel literature, and they held Bible studies and English classes for the Thai people. Now that base closed in 1975, but that Servicemen's Center became the very first Assemblies of God church and the Assemblies of God headquarters. And today, there are 36 U.S. Assemblies of God missionaries that serve in Thailand. However, there are fewer than 200 Assemblies of God churches. So preaching and opening churches is extremely important. Missionaries, they work with the Thai pastors and teams. They go places where people don't know about God at all. They've never heard of His peace. They teach in the Bible schools and prepare more Thai Christians to be able to serve as pastors and missionaries too. Because there are so many people who've never heard that Jesus loves them. There are more than 2 million people in Thailand that attend universities. So the Thai people, 2 million of them attend universities. Many of them really want to learn English. So some of the missionaries came up with a great idea, and they run English learning centers, or they hold classes, so that they also can get a chance to discuss God's truths with those students. Others host college students from the U.S. who come to study, and they help. The kids in Thailand, guys, really need to hear about the peace of God. They learn about Jesus when they go to Sunday school, in children's church, and at kids' camps. Now, some of you may be familiar with Royal Rangers, and I know some of the kids from Christian Assembly here probably aren't anymore, but Royal Rangers is a program for boys that's designed to help them learn about God. And in Thailand, there is no Royal Rangers program, so all of the boys are part of the Missionettes Club. We call those MPACT here. And really, so one of the groups of MPACT is called PRIMS. But there are no primrose flowers in Thailand. They wouldn't even know what that meant. So instead they are called dolphins. That sounds pretty cool to me. BGMC, what we've given to, guys, it paid for the translation work of every level of that missionettes program. It was a huge job. And several of the missionaries that work in Thailand, they train children's workers so that they can go out and help children, help kids like you. BGMC provides church, they gave them the church ministry materials, like puppets, puppet stages, clown costumes, clown makeup, all of that fun stuff. BGMC gave that to these children's workers. And BGMC also hosted a training seminar where several kids workers from the US here went over and trained those leaders in Thailand how to reach kids. The US team also, held several kids camps, big outreaches, and a whole lot of kids responded to God's message, His love. Guys, these are kids just like you who don't know that Jesus loved them so much that He was willing to die for them. They don't know. We have to help. We have to help our missionaries be able to tell them so that they can be forgiven of their sins and they can go to live in heaven with us someday. I mean, it is very important, guys. And the Thailand AG Church runs the National Church runs a children's home. One of the missionaries' projects is a school for stateless children. So in Thailand, unless you're a citizen of Thailand, you can't go to a Thai school. So this stateless children's school is for kids who aren't citizens, and so that they have a school to go to. Other missionaries, they help people who are sick or maybe they're handicapped. And by helping everyone who has a need, they show that God's peace is for everyone. Remember, guys, God's peace, His love, that's not just for you or me or somebody in America. It's for every person in every country of this entire world. Jesus died for every single human being. It's our job to help them know that, to help them learn it. And now we've learned a little bit about Thailand. We get to go to my favorite part of BGMC Sunday, which is teaching a little bit about a day in the life of a kid in Thailand. So today, I want to introduce you to Lalana. Lalana lives in Chiang Mai. I'm terrible with these, I'm sorry. Chiang Mai, which is a city in northern Thailand. She lives in a small house with her parents and older brother and sister. Grandma and Grandpa live in the small house with them too. Chiang Mai is a very big city, and there are over 300 temples and shrines there. Not churches. Temples and shrines. Most are for Buddha, whose teachings they all follow. Like many Thai homes, in fact, Lalana's home has a Butsudan, or a shrine, with it's got a little small statue of the Buddha, some candles, some offering bowls, and the family members all go out there. They meditate and they recite chants in front of the shrine. Most Thai Buddhists also worship not just Buddha, but they worship spirits in nature. So they don't really know Jesus. This is what they grow up doing. In fact, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Lalana's schooling. Yeah, it says that the October break is over and it's back to school for the second semester. Early Monday morning, Lalana joins several friends who ride together in a tuk-tuk. Isn't that fun to say, tuk-tuk? It's a little rickshaw, a little motorized vehicle that gets them to where they need to go. They are riding in it to school. They are all dressed in their uniforms. Yes, they have to wear uniforms to school. They can't just throw on their favorite shirt with a picture of a shark on it and their coolest pair of jeans and like some awesome Crocs like mine. No, nobody wears Crocs like mine. But anyway, they can't wear those things. They have to wear these uniforms. The uniforms are white shirts and blue or black shorts or pants for boys and skirts for girls. At 8 a.m. sharp, right at 8 a.m., the children line up in rows at the flagpole as they raise the Thai flag. They sing the Thai national anthem, and then they repeat chants to the Buddha. Yeah, they even learn it in school. No shoes are allowed, though, in the school, so they have to take them off and put the shoes on the shelf. How would you feel if when you had to go to school, you had to take your shoes off and put them on a shelf? Well, they better keep those floors pretty clean, huh? Otherwise your socks are going to get all dirty. But that is kind of what their day begins like every day. And just in case you think maybe they're boring, I have to tell you, Lalana and other Thai kids really love these next few sports. They love soccer, they love volleyball, they love basketball, and there are other sports too, but those are their big three. On the playground at school, they play tag and skipping games. Maybe some of you have played skipping games before. I tried when I was in 3rd grade, fell down, got hurt a lot. It was just not a pretty picture. I'm getting off track, aren't I? Okay, bring it back in. In fact, one of those skipping games is Lalana's, her favorite game. It's a game called Rope. And rope is a game where the girls have made a rope of rubber bands. Each one of them has to jump over it as it's raised higher and higher and higher. In fact, she's pretty good at it, guys. She also likes to fly kites and play takraw. Takraw is like volleyball, but check this out. You cannot use your hands to get the ball back over the net. All your heads or elbows, or I guess, but you can't use your hands at all. Kids over there also like to watch TV, so they're not that different than you. They love TV, and they love to go to fairs and amusement parks and museums. I mean, I'm sure none of you guys like to do any of those things. Definitely not eating candy or any... Oh. You do like eating candy? Well, like a lot? Huh. I'll have to keep that in mind. One of the things that's absolutely different about where Lalana lives in Thailand and where we live here is that elephants are extremely important. How many of you guys have an elephant living around your house? No? How many of you guys ride an elephant to go places? No? Oh, well see, they're really important in Thailand. In fact, the elephant is Thailand's national symbol. Throughout history, the elephants have worked with people as transportation, heavy lifters, and they even fought in wars. But today, elephants do all of those things, and they provide entertainment, guys. They play sports, have races. How many of you would like to see an elephant race? I would so love to see an elephant race. I think that would be awesome. But they also play tug of war with people. I don't think I'd like to play tug of war with an elephant. I'm pretty sure I couldn't win. I don't know. Maybe you thought you could. Maybe. But guys, listen. Some of them even do things that like dancing. They play musical instruments. And they even paint. I don't know, but maybe I need to get an elephant as a pet. Do you think you should ask your moms and dads for elephants as pets? Maybe you should say, for Christmas, I want an elephant. A real one. I saw those moms and dads saying no. Sorry, Mom and Dad. I won't do that again. Anyway, some cities in Thailand hold a parade of elephants all in the month of November. So the elephants just parade all around town. Lalana's brother, though, he is studying for an exam so that he can go to a university in Bangkok. There is a name here, and I don't want to make it sound terrible. So I'm just going to tell you, it starts with an R, it's like Ram. It's university. It's in Bangkok. This particular university is the world's largest. Just in case you didn't hear that, it's the world's largest university with more than 430,000 students. Bangkok itself is really huge. Like I said, it's all way over 7 million people. And not only does it have crowded streets because there's so many people, guys, but it also has crowded canals, which they call kwongs. Lots of families in Bangkok live in houseboats that float in the canals, the kwongs. Many families, they live there, and they use the canals to get around. And there are floating market boats, so they really don't ever have to get off their boat. There's restaurant boats. They can just, live on this boat and never really get off. along the shores, there are houses on stilts that line the canals too. And every house has an outdoor spirit house. It's like a little doll house on a pole. Every day the owners go out and they give offerings to the spirit that they believe lives in this little house so that it will protect their house. Now, you and I know that that's not true, that there's no little spirit living in that house that's going to protect them, but that's what they've grown up with and they've learned, so that's what they do. Moving on from those things, I don't know about you, but I like to eat. I'm pretty sure you do too, and so do the people in Thailand. In fact, gin khao is the Thai word for dinner. It means eat rice. I don't know about you, but I like rice. Do you like rice? I like rice. Do you like rice? Yeah, we like rice, don't we? Absolutely, Lalana loves it. Her and her family eat rice at almost every single meal. Along with the rice, though, they eat dishes like satay, which is barbecued pork or chicken with a peanut sauce. If you've never had Thai food, I highly encourage you to have it. It is spicy and amazing. Guys, they also eat kan, which is curry, and pad thai, which are pan-fried noodles. It's my favorite. Thai food is, like I just said, usually spicy. When Lalana goes to the evening markets with her father, it's so hard for her to choose from all the different yummy foods that the street vendors sell. Because what they do, the people, they eat as they shop. You know, you kind of walk around, look at everything you're eating. Sounds like a lot of fun to me. But they also eat while driving their motorbikes. I don't think I'd like to see that. That sounds dangerous. But they do. Lalana also likes the fast food places around too. Just like you and me. She likes to go to a McDonald's. She likes to go there, have some chicken nuggets. It's all good. Thai people also, guys, love holidays. Lalana and her family celebrate the New Year not once, but twice. Once on January 1st with the rest of the whole wide world, and then again on April 13th, which is the Thai New Year. Families clean up their houses to welcome the New Year. I hope my wife's not listening, because now I have a feeling on December 31st I'm going to have to clean the house. Well, probably should be done anyway. But that's what they do. They clean their house to prepare for the New Year. They're going to welcome that New Year in with a clean house. Some people, in fact, release caged birds. They set them free to fly, or they put live fish into the streams. Young people, they show respect on the New Year's by going to their elders and giving them gifts and asking for the elders' blessing. I think that's beautiful. I think that is something that is wonderful, to ask for the blessing of those who've lived longer than us. In November, the Thai people celebrate Loi Krathong. Sorry if I didn't say that right, but they put a small lit candle and incense sticks into a little cup that's made out of banana leaves. And that is called a krathong. Krathong. Then they place that krathong in a river or a stream and they make a wish. And some people there believe that if the candle keeps burning until that krathong is out of sight and you can't see it anymore, that the goddess of water will make their wish come true. Again, guys, we know that's not true, but it's what they've learned and what they've grown up with. However, people do decorate their houses and streets with paper lanterns. They also fill them with hot air and send them up into the night sky in hopes that their troubles will be taken away. I don't know about the troubles taken away, but I think it'd be beautiful to see all those. It'd almost be like watching Tangled, but in real life. It'd be pretty cool. Guys, the Thai people, though, if you were listening to the story about Lalana, they don't know. They don't know that there's a true way. They don't know that Jesus came, forgave them of their sins by dying on the cross because he loved them. And so, guys, we're going to close up here and finish up our BGMC lesson today.
Welcome to Go 360. I'm your host, Reagan. Today we are going to a country that's been nicknamed the Land That Smiles because of the people's friendliness. Thailand is in Asia, squished between Burma and Cambodia. There are over 65 million people living in Thailand. Could you imagine what it would be like if all those people had Jesus in their hearts? I bet they would never stop smiling. Missionary Mark and Pastor Supot are working very hard to make it that way. That is to make Jesus known to everyone in the country of Thailand. Actually, Pastor Supot has set up an orphanage to help children in need get an education and learn about Jesus.
An orphanage or a dorm situation such as Pastor Supot in Chiang Rai has been extremely valuable, not just in saving kids from a potential immoral lifestyle, but he's also been able to raise up strong disciples.
It may be the land of smiles, but the name Thailand actually means land of freedom. That is why it's so important for young boys and young girls to get to know Jesus. If they have Jesus in their hearts, then they are free to share him with as many people as they want. Now we have a very important job to do. Missionary Mark and Pastor Supot have asked if we would pray for Thailand. Did you know that in Jeremiah 29:12-13, God says, "Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." God is telling us that if we pray and talk to him, he will listen. Isn't that exciting? So this is how I remember to pray. This is my prayer board, and on it I have pictures of people and places that I need to pray for. See, this is my family and my dog, and this is where I'm going to keep Thailand. Now I'll remember to pray for Thailand every day. Maybe you can make your own prayer board to help you remember what to pray for every day. Until then, pray for the people of Thailand, and don't forget, go 360.
Okay? Until I see you next time when we're back to our regular High Point stuff, I pray that you will let God use you and show you how you can help Thailand, how you can help BGMC. And I also pray that you remember, no matter what, that you never forget that you are loved so much by God and by us. I'll see you next time. Bye.